What's up, guys? Welcome to the fifth edition of this course, and we're going to outline the third type of video that we need to have on our YouTube channel. And really, this is going to be about hub content, but we're going to talk about the hub and spoke content strategy in general and why this, I think, is the easiest to implement, easiest to coordinate, and highly coupling that with it being a highly effective strategy for generating interest in your channel, driving people deeper into your channel, and ultimately turning visitors to your YouTube content into leads for your business. So, with that being said, let's get into this. The hub and spoke strategy looks like the graphic that you see right here. So we have hub content. They call them nodes here in this graphic. That would be the big blue circles. Then we have smaller hubs, which would be light blue. And then we have content, which would be orange. And ultimately, guys, each one of these can be its own hub. So what this looks like is, this could be business insurance. So we have a piece of content that is what business insurance, everything you need to know. Right? So that could be your hub content. Or say you just write in one state, say it's North Carolina. It could be everything you need to know about business insurance in North Carolina, something like that. So that is your big hub piece of content, or the best way to get business insurance in North Carolina, something like that. So a big, meaty, something that you can link to over and over again. Its URL is going to be, / business - insurance. This is a big piece of hub content that should talk about your philosophy around business insurance, the keys to it, etc. Then we're going to break that off into all the different spokes, which we're going to outline in future videos. But essentially, the reason we do this is now we have, say, what is the cost of business insurance in North Carolina? What's the best insurance? Everything I need to know about business insurance for plumbing contractors, right? So now each one of these smaller spokes can then have a sub piece of content off of it. So let's say this one is cost. So this is business insurance, everything you need to know. This is business insurance in North Carolina. This is how much does business insurance cost in North Carolina. And then you could have another spoke off of that one, which is how much does plumbing contractors insurance cost in North Carolina, which is a spoke of the business insurance, which is a spoke of the North Carolina insurance, which is a spoke of business insurance in general. What this does is it groups our content into topical relevancy, and it allows users to easily understand the groups of content that are important to them, as well as telling YouTube that this topic of content is important. It's something that I have knowledge of. It's something that I help my customers with. And not to cross up metaphors or analogies or whatever too much, but think of this kind of like a solar system and the gravity attached to a solar system. So again, bear with me a little bit. I know I'm getting a little sciencey on us here, but the way gravity works in general is the denser something is, the more gravity it has, the more it attracts things. This is how black holes form. A star in the center of either a solar system or ultimately the huge black hole that we have at the center of our universe becomes incredibly dense, ultimately collapse on itself and starts sucking everything in. Well, this is what we can do with our content by grouping these hub pieces of content and then filling them in with spokes, and then spokes off of the spokes, and then spoke content off of that spoke. We're able to build a very dense, tightly packed content strategy that attracts the type of business that we want. All right, so this is a little better graphic. You can see it improves SEO, enhances user experience. This also makes our content very efficient and easy to create because we're not having to recreate the wheel every time, right? So we have or everything you need to know about business insurance in North Carolina. Spoke number 1 is cost. Spoke number 2 is best. Spoke number 3 is reviews. Spoke number 4 is maybe a sub piece of geography, like comparing business insurance, coastal North Carolina business insurance to inland insurance in North Carolina, right? So We just keep, and then we do those same spokes for each hub every time. So it's just, so maybe, so this hub is business insurance, then we do workers' comp, then do how much does workers' comp cost? What is the best workers' comp? Carrier review for workers' comp by industry. And then we do it again for commercial auto. And then we do it again for personal lines. We do it, and you just keep breaking these spokes off smaller and smaller, creating denser and denser packed content, always leading back to our center hub. So how do we make those connections on YouTube to tell the algorithm, to tell YouTube that something is a hub or this is a topic that we're really interested in, have a ton of knowledge of, and can help clients with? Okay. So that comes back to, there's 4 different ways to do this. So the first is YouTube playlists. You can see here from my Rogue Risk page, we had a top level business playlist. So this is really where high level content came in. I kind of grouped content in this playlist that maybe didn't necessarily fit some of the other spokes. But here, workers' comp, these are all workers' comp related videos. You can also see that, and this is just kind of a side thing, all the thumbnails for a particular playlist, or we'll say a hub and spoke tree, match each other so that visually to a user, it makes sense. The next video makes sense. Okay, so that's just a little added bonus there for you. So playlist. Number 2 is end screen. So even though this is when is an injury covered by workers' comp, I was using the end screen best video for the user. I tested, putting something in here that was a specific next video, but the most clicks actually come from this letting YouTube use their algorithm to choose what the person wants to use next. But what I always did was add the playlist link. So this element here, this workers' comp element, and this element over here are added not in the video itself. They're added in the end screens button, the end screens widget of your YouTube video. So when you're creating a YouTube video, one of the little sections will be end screen units, and you can put whatever you want in there. I always put best next video, which YouTube chooses based on their history. Then for the hub and spoke method, I would always put a link to the playlist, and then this is just a subscribe button. You can have that or not. And this shows up in the last 20 seconds of that video. All right, the next is putting links to relevant additional videos inside of the description. So here, learn more about workplace wellness coming off of this, when is an injury covered by workers' comp? I put a link right to that YouTube video, and that tells YouTube, hey, this video, which is also on YouTube, is relevant to the video that people are currently watching. And then you can also see I always have a clear call to action at the top of that description. And then the fourth and final way to create kind of links in this kind of hub and spoke tree is links in cards. So cards are these little flash pullouts that come that are actually links that you can set at any time. So I would, for a 5-minute video, and this is a 6-minute video, I may have 3 to 4 cards. In this case, at 2 minutes and 53 seconds, workers' comp, the first 24 hours after an injury pops. And again, that link is telling YouTube these are relevant connected videos. And by having links to the to the playlist, to hub content, and to other spokes, in this case, workers' compensation the first 24 hours after an injury, you are showing YouTube that all of these videos should be interconnected, intertwined, showed in succession when a user comes, and that they are all relevant to the topic of workers' comp. What does this look like from an actual content tree example? So you have business insurance, that's going to be your top level hub, workers' compensation insurance, everything you need to know. Then a spoke off of that one is going to be HVAC contractors, workers' compensation insurance, everything you need to know. Then how much does HVAC contractors, workers' compensation insurance cost? This is a geographic region, HVAC contractors, workers' compensation insurance in New York. How to get HVAC contractors, workers' compensation insurance, right? So these 4 spokes come off of this hub, HVAC contractors. This hub is actually a spoke off of the workers' compensation, and workers' compensation is actually a spoke off of the main business insurance. And this, my friends, is how we create a relevant hub and spoke content strategy that you can duplicate for every line of business, for every class of business, for every geographical region that you want to write. And you just do this over and over again. This isn't rocket science. We don't have to recreate the wheel. What we're trying to do is create relevant, valuable educational content that is searchable, that tells our users, our audience exactly what we're going to teach them, draws them in, and ultimately at the same time is feeding Google in this case YouTube, what it wants, which is information that people are going to come back to, that they're going to watch, that they're going to use. So this hub and spoke model has worked for me over and over and over and over and over again. You can use this in anything. You use it in your website. You can use it in social media. This strategy, it's one of a couple different content strategies that you can have, but I have found for what we're doing, which is educational, business-oriented content, this is the best model because not only is it incredibly valuable for users, but it feeds these algorithms exactly what they want. And from our own standpoint, is it incredibly easy to create this content. We're not having to try to figure out what to write next. We just work this model over and over and over again. Guys, if you have questions, let me know. Your hub content should be something like either business insurance or workers' compensation insurance, commercial auto, homeowners insurance, whatever you want that big piece of hub content to create. That's what you should be creating off of this video. If you have questions, you know how to get a hold of me, Ryan@findingpeak.com, or just hit me up on the socials. All right, guys, I'll look forward to getting you the next video in a few days. Thank you.